Hi there. My name is Gayatri Devi. I am founder and director of Park Avenue Neurology in New York City, and I worked in the area of cognitive disorders and memory disorders for the last 25 years. And I wanted to share with you 5 tips for helping you better communicate with a family member or a friend who might have a cognitive problem, whether it's dementia, whether it's Alzheimer's, Lewy body disease, or dementia from strokes, or just mild cognitive impairment. Number one, don't assume that you know what's going on with them. Don't say to them, "Oh, I know what's going on. I forget too. I have memory problems too." Now, you may be doing that because you're trying to help them feel better. You want them not to feel alone. But a lot of times, people with cognitive disorders, when they hear this, feel dismissed. They don't feel understood really. So you should know that each of us has our own very particular brain. And as a result, the way we experience cognitive symptoms is very different. So you want to really be sure that you don't assume and you want to listen. Number two, a lot of us will equate a good memory to intelligence. How many of us have said, I can't believe it. I forgot that. I'm so stupid. And when people with cognitive disorders start to experience memory problems, they're forgetting on a daily basis, or they can't come up with a word, or they don't remember where they put something. That makes them feel less adequate. It makes them feel not competent. It makes them feel not able to function as well as they used to. It makes them feel stupid sometimes. And when you point out to them that they're having a problem, when you say to them, "Today's not really Tuesday, today's Wednesday," or you say, "No, that didn't happen in 1927, that really happened in 1942. That didn't happen in New York, it happened in California." When you make those corrections, ask yourself, are those corrections important? If it's not important, let it go, because if you don't let it go, the constant correction will take away from the person's sense of confidence. Of course, there are some times when you really have to correct. For example, when someone's forgetting their medication, or they're getting dressed in the middle of the night because they think that that's when they need to go to work, then you may have to correct them. But I'll tell you how to do that in a gentler way using redirection in another video. But really what you want to do again is to minimize corrections so that you foster confidence, which is crucial for functioning. Number three, just because someone has trouble in one area, say they have trouble finding words, or they have trouble understanding, an aphasia, or they have trouble doing something, what's called an apraxia, don't assume that all the other areas are also doing poorly. People can have problems with language but have an excellent memory. People can have trouble with performing a task but do very well with language. So understand that the brain has multiple different functions, and the functions can be affected differently. Number four, always talk to the person. Don't talk around them. Don't talk about them. I've found in dealing with thousands of patients with dementia that is one of the best, most humane things you can do, is talk to the person. And when you talk to a person, you look at them in the eyes and you tell them what you're thinking or what you want to hear about from them. They respond. And I found this to be almost always the case. And sometimes an occasional good touch, a human touch, an arm on the shoulder, that will help also, because older people are rarely touched in that non-clinical human way. Number five, understand that even though people with cognitive disorders may have some areas of deficits, they still have a lot of other areas where they may be functioning much better than you are, or ever could, or ever will. So you could learn a lot from them. I've learned a lot of wonderful things from my patients, how airplanes work, from someone who used to work on airplane mechanics. I've learned about the etymology of words from a professor of linguistics. And they may be people who don't remember whether they had breakfast or not, but gee, there are things that they know that I have no idea about. So it allows me to elevate them and put them on a pedestal in many ways, so that they don't feel this this decimation that often they experience when they're interacting with another person. So 5 things. Don't assume you know what's going on. Understand that memory is often equated with intelligence, so don't correct unless you really have to. Don't assume that just because they have a deficit in one area, they might have deficits in other areas. Always look at the person, make eye contact, very important, and understand that you too can learn from them, that it is in some ways a very equal relationship. I think if you do those 5 things, you'll find that you will have a much richer relationship with a family member or a loved one that may have a cognitive disorder. Thank you very much. I hope you found that helpful.